Welcome to a new episode of the FPL Secret. Hello there, my name is Zekret, and today is the third episode in the series Scouting Court. And as we are used to in Scouting Court, we're gonna set a court to judge some players by numbers and also by eye test. And we're gonna check if they are good enough to stay in our teams or we should just ditch them. And also we're gonna scout some players that possibly gonna be good for our teams in the upcoming game weeks. And as we are used to, we're gonna start with the court. The first player in our list is Gusto from Chelsea, and I see already that a lot of people brought him in, and that was after his performance against Luton Town last week. He got 2 assists and he got a total of 14 points. And I see it is reasonable to get a 4 million defender from Chelsea who plays as a wing back. His underlying numbers are not so good, but still he's playing very advanced as a right wing back instead of James. He's not as good as James or even Chilwell, but it is reasonable to get him at 4 million or 4.1 right now. The only problem is in the next 3 weeks, Chelsea is only going to play one game. So for long distance, like 3 weeks, James could be back by then. And then if you got Gusto by now, he's going to play the next game against Nottingham Forest, which is a good fixture. But after that, you might transfer him out again when James is back. But people say that James is an injury prone and he's going to be injured most of the time. So it's good to keep Gusto as a backup always on your bench ready when James is injured. I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do because you're gonna block a spot from Chelsea with a very good games to come, so you don't want to miss that. So for me, I'm not getting Gusto, and I think it's not a good transfer. Dismissed. Our next player is Richarlison from Tottenham. And I have Richarlison myself, and I suffered from having him in the past 3 game weeks. He was absolutely horrible, and he got me like 0-2, and it was really a bad decision for me to get him in the first 3 game weeks. But the problem is Tottenham is now looking for another forward, and he was subbed in the last game around like the 55th minutes. So it seems like the new manager don't trust him much, and Richarlison is actually bad and he's not doing any good at Tottenham. So if you have him, he dropped down to 6.9 now. So get rid of him as fast as possible. I don't think he's gonna start the next game, and I think the manager is gonna try something else until he gets a new attacker, because Richarlison seems to be out of form. So for me, yeah, Rich is out. Absolutely out. Our next one is Martinelli. And I know, yeah, that our plan was to have him for longer than that, not just 3 game weeks. But in the first 3 weeks, he only provided 1 assist and he wasn't as dangerous as we thought he would be. And in the upcoming games, Arsenal is going to have a lot of competitions to compete in, the Cups and also the Champions League. So probably we're going to see a lot of rotation with Havertz, Trossard, Jesus, and so on. So if you already have Saka in your team or Odegaard, I don't think it's mandatory to like double or triple up on Arsenal attack at the moment. They don't seem to be at their level, so you can just, if you're looking to transfer one of your midfielders, Martinelli could be next. So yeah, so long, Gabriel Martinelli. A lot of people say that Estepinian time is over in our teams since the run of the good games has come to an end. But something to notice in the first 3 game weeks, which were the easy game weeks, Estepinian got no clean sheets in all of them. So it's all about the attacking returns, and we saw in 2 out of the 3 games he got returns, good ones, goals and assists, and bonus as well. So it's already about thinking it over in the upcoming game weeks. Are you going to play him against Newcastle? Are you going to play him against Man United? If the answer is yes, so yeah, you can keep him. If you are going to drop him to the bench in games like that, big games against United or Newcastle or whatever, in the next 5 or 6 games, he only has Bournemouth at home as an easy fixtures. The other fixtures are against teams from the top level. So it really depends on how you're thinking about it. Will you take the risk and play him against the big teams and wait for a usual attacking return from him? Or you're just going to bench him and wait for every once in a while when he plays a team from the bottom half of the table? For me, I think the money won't be a problem at the moment. He is 5 million, now he's 5.3. So if I needed the money to fund some other defenders that I need in my team, I will sell him. If not, I'll just keep him. And it depends on the shape of my team. If I'm going to need him in some game week where I don't have enough defenders with decent fixtures, he might be an option. If not, and I need the money and I found another defender that I need, I'm going to sell him right away when I have a free transfer. Moving on to scouting, and the first one on the list is if you're thinking of a Chelsea asset, you gotta think of the main man at Chelsea, which is Raheem Sterling at the moment. We saw last game, we saw actually in the last 3 games that he was very good, and he totally dominated the right side and he created a lot of chances. He always does a lot of effort and he is always a threat. So it seems that him and Jackson are the 2 attackers for Chelsea. He doesn't seem like a wing as he seems as an attacker. Because in the 5 in the back formation, you always see that Gusto or James run along the right side and Sterling a lot of time gets inside to be in the box. So you might consider him as a second attacker and he's going to play all the time, and he is the one with the most experience in Chelsea's attack. So I favor him more than that Jackson. Jackson is really fast and good player, but he misses a lot of chances. He's gonna get better, but if you're thinking of someone who is ready and is better, it is Raheem Sterling. And I'm actually thinking of that he's gonna be the penalty taker after Enzo missed the last one. I see him taking the next one. I really think he will. Udogie from Tottenham is another defender who grabbed our eyes in the last game, taking 12 points with an assist and bonus. I saw Udogie in the preseason and I saw he is playing very advanced and he is really good. For 4.5 million, he is really something. But the reason I didn't get him in the first place, because I know that Tottenham has good fixtures to come, is that Tottenham is actually conceding a lot of chances. He kept like 2 clean sheets, but I think he was lucky against Manchester United and also against Bournemouth to keep a clean sheet. There is always a threat on Tottenham and you feel like they are conceding any minute. So for me, if I'm going to depend on Udogie in the upcoming game weeks, I'm not going to hope for a clean sheet. I'm going to hope for some attacking returns, which he is capable of. But I looked at his numbers and also I watched Tottenham's games and I don't see that he is very dangerous to consider. The only thing is to consider about it is that he's just 4.5. He's 4.6 now. But for me, there are a lot of other solid teams that I can pick a defender from. So I don't think I'll get Udogie in my team. What I see from Bruno Fernandes is absolutely ridiculous. He's creating millions of chances for Rashford and Anthony and Garnacho and Martial and all that attackers that don't have a single one who plays as a number 9, and they all miss the chances. And if you looked at the XA for Prono, it's very high, and also the XG. So I think that will improve in the upcoming games when Hoyland is back, because he is actually a number 9 attacker, and he could transfer all those chances to an actual number of goals. So for me, right now, the most interesting choice in Manchester United is Bruno Fernandes, not Marcus Rashford. So for the next 2 game weeks, it's going to be Arsenal and Brighton. If you don't have Bruno already, you can just like save it for later to get him in. Maybe after those 2 weeks. And then he's going to be a very good option, I believe. But now with those fixtures, I don't believe he's going to give you a good returns with Marcus Rashford and Sancho and Martial playing in the number 9. They all gonna waste a lot of chances. So for me, I will postpone bringing in Bruno Fernandes for another game week. Our last player today is Auni from Nottingham Forest. I actually like Auni since last season. The latest stages of last season, Auni was very good, and he literally saved Nottingham Forest from relegation alongside Gibbs White and Johnson. This season I thought of him, but I looked at the fixtures and I found it's very hard. He has a decent price, 6.5 as an attacker, which a spot that we look for someone to fill. We usually look at the midfielders, not the attackers. So if you find an attacker at 6.5 million who is nailed and good, you're probably gonna take that chance and get him. The only problem is I thought the fixtures are difficult, and I was proven wrong, because Auni actually scored in the first 3 game weeks, and he looked very good. He's very fast and strong and very dangerous. And Nottingham Forest actually looked good, not only at their stadium, they also looked good at the Emirates and Old Trafford, and Auni scored at the Emirates and Old Trafford and also against Sheffield. So he is a very good option if you want to fill a spot in the attack. He's absolutely something. I think game week 7 is a very good time to bring in him when he plays Brentford and he has a good run after that. So if I'm going to consider him in for my team, I'm gonna consider him since game week 7. Okay, there you go, guys. That was today's Scout and Court. I hope it was fair, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our mini league. And until next time, then see you.